BioCarbon is a leading program for carbon and biodiversity initiatives. We have been working for around 5 years, and there are so many challenges, but also opportunities that we are every day exploring and learning and sharing with the network in the different sectors from carbon and also biodiversity. And some of the milestones that we have are related with the inception or the linkages between the climate agenda and also what it represents for other agendas as sustainability, gender equality, local empowerment, without keeping only the frame of the scope of our work in terms of climate mitigation, but also what represents biocarbon to enable wider positive impact across territories and organizations implementing activities. We have, from one side, the important role and responsibility also to provide the guidelines that should be followed by the project holders. So those guidelines reflects which are the indicators and the aspects that needs to be considered during the project planning process, but also the implementation and monitoring, ensuring that local communities and also stakeholders engaging in the project are not only an active part during the project implementation, but also are considering all the requirements regarding land tenure and social and environmental safeguards. So from one side, BioCarbon provides the different guidelines and requirements that we are also taking care during the assessment of the projects and are part of the components that a third independent party assess during the validation and verification. And from the other side, we are also enabling reflecting those special aspects from the projects in our registry. So actors in the market that wants to get credits that has a local engagement during the project implementation can see this as an additional label to choose the projects, depending as well to the SDGs connected to the project. As BioCarbon, we recognize that the sector of carbon market has been very dynamic for the last decade, but especially last years regarding the regulation and the orientation to implement Article 6, considering Article 6.2 and 6.4, and the role that stakeholders has in those mechanisms. So we recognize as one of the challenges is going through the provisions that needs to be done by the programs and also the countries to avoid any risk of double counting and all what is needed to ensure the corresponding adjustment of units that are allowed to be transferred out of the national NDC by countries. So it can be recognized not only as a challenge for BioCarbon, but for different actors in the sector. However, we are pretty much commit to keep following the last discussions, not only what is happening at COP, but also best practices that start to be implemented, and those countries that are being the first to establish national conditions and establishing their national registries. So in that sense, we need to keep all of us talking and sharing this information to ensure provisions are taking place. And this is one of our main efforts for 2023, and that we believe needs to be one of the priorities for 2024. There are other type of challenges and priorities for us are related with the role of technology in all the processes regarding the digital MRV and how also technology takes place at the end in the trading. And the market that is not a scenario that BioCarbon perform, but we need to be sure that whatever is happening and whatever is the approach of technology is well connected with the minimal requirements and the integrity aspects reflected on the program. So technology represents also a huge opportunity, but how fast technology is going and how engaged is already in the market is something that we are taking very serious and conscious.